Trapmore gang, iShowSpeed is one of the most beloved people when it comes to streaming all around the world. He's really the GOAT of streaming right now, especially since Kai Cenat decided to just go a little bit crazy and go all Yeezus on us, okay? But thing is, not everybody loves iShowSpeed, and unfortunately, I don't know how to say this because it's not how I feel, but there's a lot of people around the world that are racist. They don't like black people. They don't like people from places that they don't know. They don't like, they're scared of the unknown. They're ignorant. And unfortunately, iShowSpeed on his recent trip to Algeria, he faced quite significant racism. Okay. This is a clip that's been going around, and I actually don't want to play you exactly what was said, but you can see what was said. All right. He was basically riding around and somebody called him the N-word with the hard R. So you can see someone walks past and they call him the word with the hard R, and you can tell it hurts his feelings. All right. You know what was said. You don't need to see what was said. I don't need to make this video have a whole bunch of the messed up stuff in it. But that's what was going on, man. And look, even though he's rich, he's famous, he's getting millions of dollars, he's doing his thing, that doesn't mean getting called the hard R ain't gonna hurt your feelings, all right? Like, that is out of line. I don't think anybody deserves this type of treatment, whether you're black, white, Asian. You shouldn't be subjected to hate crimes, which is what this is, honestly. So Stream basically went to Algeria, and this did end up leaving a bit of a sour taste in his mouth, let's say, all right? Now, the stream started off good, all right? He basically reached a new subscriber milestone, all right? And this was a clip that was going viral in live stream fail. It said, iShowSpeed keeps getting interrupted by Algerian merchant when trying to celebrate subscriber milestone. Look at this.
You have plus.
We just hit 48.900.
Oh, and one point.
Chat,
Many artists of Tuareg says that Agratifina.
Chat, we just hit 48
Agratifina. It's meaning Lertifina because the Tuareg people have alphabet there to Tifina. All the keys they are the message.
Chat, we just hit 48.900.
They are the message. You have plus. Inside, in all the keys, you have plus. Oh, and one point. It's meaning Tara. Tara meaning love.
Chat, we just hit 48.9.
It's meaning love. So, in all time, it's very difficult to cross one young girl. To tell
Chat, we just hit 48.
You can just give him the symbol of love. If he accepts you, you wear it in the leg and go to see the family. If the family accepts the owner, he tells him that keep the sample for eternity. It's your future husband. Amen. If the family don't accept, he tells him that return the sample for the owner.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm God. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you.
You're right. Chat, we just hit 48.9 million subscribers. W's in the chat, man. 48.9, bro. Just want to say, bro.
So it's meaning love. It's meaning love.
Hey.
So if you have,
brother,
don't forget also the ebony. The ebony, it's a wood.
What the, brother?
You see the ebony?
What are you even talking about?
Do you see the ebony? It's a wood.
You trying to sell that ebony wood, man? I don't even want to know about that, all right? And then the cameraman deserves credit for the comedic timing switching between the two, man. Speed's team are on point, man. There's one good one Algerian merchant. They're glad that Speed played into it, man. That was hilarious. That was actually hilarious. But look, okay, things kind of stopped being funny, all right, when Speed basically attended a local soccer match, okay? Things would escalate quickly, and things would unfortunately go left, all right, as you saw at the start. So this is a clip that's going around, all right, and it basically says iShowSpeed gets attacked by Algerian ultras, all right? And look, he looking like he at a soccer game, all right? And let's be real, okay? In the United States, y'all be calling it soccer, all right? Where I come from, we call it football, okay? And it's very serious, all right? There's serious teams, serious firms. There's gangs that branch off of teams and they have their own hooligan squads. They will really beat the shit out of you, all right, with anything they can possibly find. So you got to be careful when it comes to these crazed football fans all around different parts of the world, all right? They throwing a lot of stuff, and they throwing heavy stuff too. Do you see the stuff flying in? They really not fucking with it.
Oh, hell no. What they throwing? I'm not even on a rivalry team. gotta get out of here. Why are they throwing stuff? I'm leaving this man. Why are you throwing stuff?
Cops anyway. Watch out, him. Just water. It's just water. It's just water.
I know, but why are you throwing it?
Yeah, it's the ultra. That's what they're like. They're diehard fans.
I know, but
Because if you don't support them, they don't care.
No. We're not walking around no more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Walking around for what? To get thrown?
Diehard fans. If you're not wearing a t-shirt, they don't care.
What?
So they're saying if you're not wearing the local team shirt, they're throwing shit at you. They're not playing around, all right? They're stoning you to death. If you don't support their team, you're up.
Diehard, bro. They're like real big fans.
Bro, I got on the Algerian national shirt.
But you know, that team.
I'm just.
They don't like
They don't like being filmed. They don't like being filmed.
close to them.
Okay, explain more. Explain.
Speed, they are ultras. They don't like to film them. Okay?
They had a football game.
Yeah, but they are ultras, you know, the ultras mentality.
That don't make sense.
Go to
You don't like being filmed?
but they are friendly.
But a football match is filming everybody.
Yeah.
Should we check the other side out?
Hell no! No, they're not. They gonna start throwing water. They gonna start throwing water. No, bro. I'm not trying to get water thrown at me.
They're clapping for you, though.
Are they clapping? All right, man. I'm like, let's see.
Man, you got to be careful for them ultras, man. They're saying ultras are hated everywhere. All right, basically. The tour guide who was asking, what are you going to tell the American media about Algeria is somewhere in the corner crying right now, okay? Now, the harassment in the stadium apparently intensified once Speed entered the stands, where he was met with even more hostility. This was rough.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm about to leave, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Get out of here. Let's get out of here. I'm leaving. We are out, bro.
Guys, move out the way!
We leaving, chat. They keep throwing water.
Open up!
So look, man, they're not fucking with him in Algeria, right? They're saying he found his least favorite African country, right? Apparently they delayed the game for iShowSpeed to do his little catwalk, and people were pissed off. Now his supporters are gaslighting everyone into believing they were ultras or terrorists. That's interesting, all right? He said he was told by the photographer on the grounds that it was because he was filming them, which is a big no-no to ultras. But as Speed correctly pointed out, you're at a football game. What do you expect? If you don't want to be seen, don't congregate in sections and make choreographed noise while you unfurl elaborate tifos, all right? So people saying it's always ultras who don't want to be in the camera or something on a public space. It's always them in every single country. Despite that, there's not a single law against it. The reality is that most of these fans are the worst people, selling drugs, being racist, and trash everything. No wonder they don't want to be on camera. Now imagine this happened on the street. Ultras are the same people who campaign against surveillance cameras and stadiums. They're lowlifes and losers. If you ain't doing something wrong, then you don't need to hide, all right? They're saying that ultras are demons. People are saying you're naive if you truly believe it's because of the camera. And I do think some people do think that it is just straight racism, all right? This says, I'm an Algerian myself, and allow me to explain these soccer fans called ultras, and they're basically soccer fanatics. It's soccer or nothing for them, and they're the worst breed of Algerian people. Every normal Algerian person hates these key people, and they represent a very small world, but a loud minority. If you look at the rest of the stream, every Algerian person that Speed met was nice and chill. They don't represent us, all right? They're saying, why did they put him behind the opposition of the jersey that he's wearing? But apparently that is the national team jersey, and they're still not fucking with him, all right? Now, interestingly, the aggressors in this situation, despite being so scared of cameras, oh, not the cameras, okay, they apparently even filmed themselves basically targeting Speed with harassment while he was in the stands. So we got the other angle on him too. Now, a lot of people have suggested maybe it's because he was putting his hands down his pants, all right? Maybe they didn't like that. face as well. He knows what he's doing, man. It says, as you can see here, they threw bottles on him for that disrespectful behavior. Whoever thinks that's normal, fine. Do it next to your family. Sitting there with your hands in your pants is clearly disrespectful. Why is he putting his hands in his pants? He knew what he was doing. He's not stupid as he wants you to believe. So look, right? He had his hand on his crotch in front of Algerian football crowd in Algeria. That's disrespectful. He should study the culture. The Algerian people are so proud. Many things are rude, like tips. It's just the last few years it became socially acceptable. Never point your fingers or click them to a waiter. Cleaning shoes or shoe shiner is illegal as it's sign of dehumanizing a free man. That's crazy. All right, that's crazy. People are calling him I touch meat. All right, they're calling him I touch meat. Now, following these viral clips going around, okay, the incident sparked a massive debate online, with some explaining that this was actually just the result of the region's intense ultras soccer culture. All right, this says, as we saw, the Algerian people are very generous and kind and welcome Speed with open arms, but this will explain what happened exactly at the stadium. Speed showed up at the Nelson Mandela Stadium on the day of a really heated Algiers derby, the Algerian Super Cup final. MC Alger versus USM Alger played at that stadium. On days like that, the ultra sections are extremely intense. Ultras are organized hardcore fan groups, and in some places they're also linked with hooligan style behavior in and around the stadiums. So the bottles being thrown usually isn't because of one specific person. It's more like the crowd is already on edge because it's a major rivalry match, and some people in ultra groups will throw bottles at police, security, refs, or anyone nearby when things get chaotic. People said it wasn't personal to Speed, it was more typical ultra disrespect and chaos, and they throw stuff at lots of targets, not just him, so Speed was really just in the wrong place, plus at the wrong time. Big derby, in addition to the ultra's huge presence, and Speed with the cameras drew extra attention from a tense crowd. People saying Algeria behavior at AFCON was poor, and now here something is up with that place. Says all ultras need to be banned. Stupidest things allowed in sports. Anyone who gets emotional over sports is a low IQ simpleton. I would actually agree with that. All right. But anyway, all right, basically, this is more just analysis, all right, from live stream fails of him getting the water bottles thrown at him and people not receiving him well. His whole time in the stadium was a mess, and then he basically had to flee and get the hell out of there, as we saw. All right, and people in the comment are saying for soccer hooliganism, this is actually pretty tame. All right, to clarify what's going on, it's the biggest rivalry match in Algeria. Unfortunately, they're ultras. They're disrespectful to everyone, including the police, refs, and security who get water thrown on them. It's got nothing to do with Speed himself. And here's the Wikipedia article about the ultras. It's a type of association football fans known for their fanatical support. The term originated in Italy, but it's used worldwide to describe predominantly organized fans of teams. And I believe, yeah, ultra groups are responsible for many cases of football hooliganism and violence. Although differently from hooligan firms, ultras don't have the explicit objective of fighting other fans. Now, look, if you're from the UK, you know about football hooligan firms, all right? These guys are absolutely out of control, all right? They're basically fight wings, and they will go and fight you over football, all right? There's a couple of really good films. The Gooners, shout out to the Gooners. But there's a couple of like pretty well-known firms, right? The Chelsea Headhunters are a classic, well-known group of English football hooligans, all right? They're involved in all types of riots, all right? Interestingly, they've also got links to white supremacist organizations, which maybe, you know what I'm saying, them football hooligans probably wouldn't love to see Speed rocking up to the scene. But anyway, others have actually suggested that the aggression might have occurred because of Speed's own actions, namely basically playing with his junk in front of everybody. Now, this has been removed, but I did see it at the time, and basically this is him sticking his hands down his pants, as we saw previously. It says you didn't do enough research because this was way after they first started throwing water bottles, so they're saying bro's always scratching his nuts, he's got to be hella musty, right? I don't care about the research, but why is he doing that in public and think people wouldn't feel away? I think he knew what he was doing, to be honest, right? I think he knew what he was doing. But basically, all right, it seems like iShowSpeed, look, not everyone's going to be happy. Not everyone's going to be welcoming to somebody when they come to their country to, you know, make content out of your culture. But I really respect Speed. I think what he's doing is great. I think he's an amazing black role model. Okay. I feel like for all the criticisms that, you know, I hear related to the hip hop content and a lot of the negativity that's put out there, I feel like Speed is just a role model for, you know, not just black people, but just like young people coming out of different environments, different backgrounds. You know, there's so many different things that you can do in life, and just look at what Speed's achieved. His background, his race, nothing has stopped him from achieving his dreams and doing what he wants to do. So I respect Speed. I was disappointed to see the ultras treating him so badly in Algeria, him getting called the hard hard, like I showed you at the start of this video. Super out of line, but I think a lot of that is racism, jealousy, and maybe a few other things somewhere in between. But shout out to Speedman. I really admire what he's done. Big fan of his stuff. He is a legend of the game, and I will be following any other things that he does going forward with interest on this channel and beyond. So I appreciate you watching this video, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out of here, gang. Peace.